Hello and welcome to the teacher tips video for the Catapult project, where we're going to share some insight and tips on how to best lead this activity with your own class. Students tend to love the Catapult project in theory, but for some reason it does tend to be one of the trickier actual projects for them to execute. Hopefully after this video, we get to a point where you feel confident in helping them build a functioning Catapult in a stress-free environment. And the Catapult usually is a 2-day or 2-hour-ish project, especially if you take advantage of some of the supplemental curriculum/resources available to you. That is, unless you opt for the easier Catapult design, but more on that later. As far as the videos that we put together go, we strongly recommend that you go ahead and watch those beforehand to familiarize yourself with the project. And take some mental notes of where those videos pause so you can be prepared to ask those inquiry-based learning questions that we pose to the kids. And when those videos are all done, we recommend that you display the gallery section of the project page onto the projector or screen so the kids can see some examples as they're building. So before we actually give some tips for building and testing the Catapult, we want to back up to the brainstorm step. I think part of what makes this project a little tricky is students don't take that step seriously. If they really take the time to get their designs and ideas down on paper and a plan to actually build the project, it will be a massive success. There's no exact formula and we really encourage creativity, but there are a few basics for this project that you and the students should understand. The first step is they want to build a base. Once that's complete, then they build up, and finally that's when they attach the lever arm, which they then attach the ball to and fire it. All of those steps are referenced in order and with pictures and text on these how-to sheets, so make sure that the students are referencing those as they go along the different steps. When it does come to the actual construction of the Catapult, we see a lot of students struggle with attaching popsicle sticks to each other, specifically like this. As you can probably tell, that's not a winning recipe because there's hardly any area for the two to latch onto each other. Instead, check out these notched popsicle sticks we include, or better yet, these wooden cubes that fit right into the corner. Those have much more surface area for popsicle sticks going 2 different directions. Finally, as far as rubber band connections go, that is sort of an inexact science. You may have to help out the students there, and all it really looks like is playing with it and twisting it, connecting it different ways until it seems nice and snug, or to the tightness that the student prefers. Real quick, one last challenge that we wanted to address is a lot of times students will pull back their Catapult and they'll find that the ball falls off the spoon or whatever other material they put there. That's why we include the Easter egg, and we often attach it to the end of the spoon, which holds the ball nice and steady so you can use your hand to hold the Catapult and also pull it back without the ping pong ball sliding out. If you do happen to be working with a younger group, or you do want to make sure that you finish within about an hour time frame, there's always this easier option of the Catapult that you can pivot to. For the sake of discussion during the project and to keep things fun, you can ask students questions like, have you guys ever done something like this before? Or you could even try to stir up some competitive spirit, like, who thinks theirs will launch further, etc. As far as distributing the materials go, the components and supplies in the Catapult bin are relatively straightforward. We find it easiest to lay them out while the videos are playing in a buffet style, where students can come to the front and get them once the videos are done playing. But of course, hold back the target for now until students are ready to start testing. If the project happens to be running a little early and you need some ideas for how to fill in the time, no worries, here's some tips. And the same thing goes for if you're running late. Here's some ideas for how to speed up the process but still stay on task. When cleaning up, go ahead and put any unused or reusable items back in the bin so we can get them back and recycle them for future projects if necessary. Lastly, we wanted to touch on safety. Just please make sure students are being respectful and using common sense when working with materials like scissors and the hot glue gun. And with the hot glue gun, ensure that they're wearing the gloves that we provide and also working over the newspaper to avoid any accidents and also stay nice and clean. During the testing portion, students are welcome or encouraged to try out different weighted and sized projectiles, but make sure if people are walking around that they're not launching anything sharp or dangerous that might hurt someone in case it hits them. Thank you so much for any of your time and for all that you do for these students. We hope you have a blast with the Catapult project, but just in case any questions or concerns pop up in the meantime, please do not hesitate to reach out. We'd love to help you get prepared and confident going into this activity.